journey starts to become a little bit easier, because now you're training your mind, you're training yourself to do these things when you don't feel like doing it. So the next time when it comes, or the next time when it happens, or the next time when it happens, you be like, all right, well, I don't feel like doing it, but shit, I know I got to show up for myself. It starts to become more of, I have to do this, than you trying to talk and bribe yourself into doing it. All right, I got to show up for myself. Nah, when you keep doing it over and over, now it turns into, all right, well, I got it. We get to the point, humble family, where we realize that things are not going to go perfect in this journey, okay? Things will not go perfect in this journey. There will be slip-ups, there will be mishaps, right? Okay, so for example, you could be on a streak, whatever the case may be, right? You could be on the streak for 2-3 weeks going straight, and you might hit a speed bump in that 3 weeks you're going, and you might hit a speed hump where the next 3 days can turn into a week of laziness, a week of procrastination, a week of just not being motivated and inspired as you was those previous 3 weeks, right? Now, a lot of the times when that happens, humble family, we get it to the point where we feel that we have to start all over. We feel that all the progression that we then built up and everything has been gone, has been lost, has been forgotten. And to be honest, humble family, that's far from the truth. That is far from the truth. Yes, it may feel like that. We may feel like that. For example, I didn't run for about a week. So last time I ran was like last Tuesday. It's almost Tuesday, due to the weather and things of that. But I got out here today and I picked up where I left off at in my trainer. Now, was that training probably more difficult if I didn't take a week off? Hell yeah. But did I still do it? Hell yes. Did I still show up for it? Hell yes. You know why? Because the progression wasn't lost. It might have felt like that at that moment right now, but I just started to think about all the weeks that I have been training. 1 week can throw that off a little bit, but it's not the result of what I have been training for in the past, if you get what I'm saying, right? So humble family, yes, it may seem harder, it may seem impossible, but the progression is still there. You still evolved, okay, humble family? So everything is not going to go perfect all the time. You're going to have days like that. You're going to have days where we lose motivation, right? But we all know, we should know at this point of our journey that we can't live off of motivation. When motivation isn't there, we still have to show up. We still have to show up when the motivation isn't there, when the inspiration isn't there, when you just don't feel like doing it like you have been before. We still have to show up. That's how this shit gets better. That's how it gets easier. Yes, it does get easier. It can get easier. It's different levels to it. So once you pass one level, it's always going to be a next level. But what I'm saying is get past the first level first. And that's doing the shit when you don't feel like doing it. It's a wonderful feeling. It's something that you probably can never, get over. Like, all right, nah, it's probably something that you're going to have to fight every single time. But that's the beauty of it. That's showing up for yourself. That's working on yourself. It's been plenty of times when we don't feel like going to work. I wake up every morning not feeling like going to work, but I still go because I still need the money. I ain't got that much PTO time in the world. I know sooner or later I get fired if I keep calling out. So even though when I wake up I do not feel like going, I still go because right now I need it. I need to go, and it pays the bills. It puts food on the table. So I need to go. But the same thing goes for my training. The same thing goes for whatever your desire is, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you're trying to achieve. The same rules apply for that. You have to show up when you don't feel like it, when you question it, when you start to think like, is this shit even paying off? Is this shit even going to work? Yes, it will. If God gave you that vision and that vision is deep in your brain and your heart, then yes, it will work. But right now, you just don't see it because you're tired. Right now, you just don't see it because you don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like showing up for yourself. But humble family, we have to. You have to show up for yourself. And when you realize that it's going to be days like that, days where you're in the gray, days where you're not motivated to do it, and you still do it, humble family, you leveling up. You getting to that next level. You're evolving. You're showing growth. Every time I don't feel like running, every time I don't feel like doing something that I know can help me in my journey, and I do it, I feel 10 times better about myself after it's done. Because it's like, yo, bro, I did it. Like, I just remember, like, 10 minutes ago, I ain't even feel like doing this shit. An hour ago, I ain't even feel like doing this shit. But guess what? I did it. I showed up for myself. Am I extra tired? Yeah. I'm tired as hell, but look, I did it. There's a little bit of happiness in me. There's happiness in me that's really happy right now because I did the shit. I done it. I showed up for myself. Humble family, we gotta stop playing, man. We gotta stop joking around, man. I gotta get on here and keep continuing to say the same things over and over again. Yes, it's important to get it embezzled in your head, but at the same time, we want growth, we want change. So I want y'all to see the growth and I want y'all to see change as well. So yes, humble family, the times when we don't feel like it, we have to show up. Things are not going to go perfect throughout the week. You might have a consistent week, you might have a consistent 2 weeks, but always be prepared for the motivation to leave. Always prepare for the motivation to take a vacation, to leave from our bodies. But what are you going to do when they take a vacation? What's your job do when you take a vacation, right? The business still goes. The business don't shut down. They still go, right? So when the motivation takes a vacation and leaves your body, what you going to do? You still going to show up. You might go slower. You might feel more fatigued, but you still show up. So what else? Your business will close down. It will crush down. These rules are simple, humble family, but at the same time, we have to just stop being so comfortable with letting shit slide. But for us not showing up for ourselves, we have to stop letting that shit slide. All right, I didn't show up today. It's harmful. I'll just sleep it off, and then hopefully I'll show up tomorrow. Like, nah, like, that sounds good. It sounds relaxing. But at the same time, you're disappointing yourself. You're setting your future self further and further back because you want to hold off to another day that isn't even guaranteed. Another day where hella shit can pop up and happen, and now you don't have the time to do it today either. I'm a family, man. I hope this making sense to y'all, man, because it's just like, we gotta stop playing. We can't really see no real growth. We can't see no real potential if we're not putting in the work. If we're not putting in the work on the days where we don't feel like it, if we're not putting in the work on the days where it might seem overwhelmed and stuff like that, then how can we see real growth? How can we see real potential? Off of just working on the days where we feel motivated, where we feel inspired? Sure, it might can happen, but it's going to take a little bit longer than for the people who show up when they don't feel like it. All right, humble family. So that's all I'm saying, man. Let's just get better and better each and every day, 1% each and every day. If I wasn't so passionate about it and stuff like that, even if I didn't feel like running a day, and I just would have came out and not did my training, but I still would have ran a half a mile, guess what? That's still showing up. That shit is overlooked by so many people because I didn't do what I needed to do, but you still showed up. You still got out here and you still made them legs move. You still kept it moving. Okay, I'm writing a book. I try to set myself to write 5 pages a day, 6 pages a day, but today is one of those days where I really don't even feel like writing a word. Write a page, write a paragraph, write 2 paragraphs. And you have to look at it as something. You have to look at it and be like, shit, I didn't even feel like writing a word, but I wrote a page, but I wrote 2 paragraphs. That has to mean something to you. Because when that means something, and you could look at that and say, shit, I ain't feel like doing it, but I still showed up to myself, and you become happy with that, that's when the journey starts to become a little bit easier, because now you're training your mind, you're training yourself to do these things when you don't feel like doing it. So the next time when it comes, or the next time when it happens, or the next time when it happens, you be like, all right, well, I don't feel like doing it, but shit, I know I got to show up for myself. It starts to become more of, I have to do this, than you trying to talk and bribe yourself into doing it. All right, I got to show up for myself. When you keep doing it over and over, now it turns into, all right, well, I got to do this shit. Like, it don't matter. I got to do it. So, humble family, that's what I mean. Each and every day, Rome wasn't built overnight. All right, it's not going to happen overnight, but it takes baby steps, little steps, day by day. All right, humble family, I love y'all. Let's get to it, man. Let's rock out. Let's do this, man. Look, we got 6 months left. June is almost here, which means we got 6 more months left until 2027. But like I said, we got what? June, July, August, September. So we got 4 months to really get into it, really train. And then for the last 3 months, we're going to go ahead and get ready for 2027. All right. But that all starts right now. Working right now. All right. I love y'all. I see y'all next video. Stay prayed up. Stay blessed. Keep doing the Lord's work. Keep living righteously. And I holla. Peace.